mean, yeah, this is the worst experience I've ever had in a group.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's just because like all these technical difficulties, starting, stopping, starting, stopping, you know, it's it's not because of you guys. It's been a great conversation. It's not because of you guys. You're good. But
I don't think your video's on, or it's just really dark.
There you go. Hi.
Hello.
Right, so we were talking about, I'll just give you a brief rundown of what we were talking about.
Okay.
So we went over, I kind of put it in like the positive intentions that he was going over, like they had, and were you here when we were talking about like the respectful language and the reframing that he did?
No, I cut out right after normalizing family experience.
Okay, so that normalizing then kind of is part of that same subject, you know, using that respectful language, and within that he was reframing and relabeling.
Yeah, if someone was being negative.
Yeah, so whenever like each situation, he's like, all right, so this is this situation. He'd kind of go, it was kind of nice because he would kind of go down to each person. He's like, so this is how you feel, but this is what you really mean, you know? Or this is how you feel, but in all reality, you are more concerned about your son. Or this is how you feel, like you really think that your family hates you, but they're really concerned about you, that type of thing. So he's really reframing and relabeling and making, and using those a more constructive way, and using that respectful language. And then we move down. And then tell me whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. And then I see I'm a horrible scribe, so I can't keep up.
No, it's all good.
Okay. And then we went, because we're kind of following the framework of chapter 6.
Right.
And then we went to like identifying, affirming, and building family strength. And within that, it was crediting positive intentions and praising like efforts and achievements. And you can tell that he was really like trying to find those positive achievements. I'm kind of Alyssa. I'm trying to give her like a rundown of what we talked over really quick.
Okay.
If you want to jump in, totally, you know, it's all you. You know, creating positive intentions. He was finding those while we're reframing and relabeling. He was finding positive within the situation and making, you know, like the mother had positive intentions, whereas, you know, concern for her son, where her son was like, you know, this Jimmy or whatever is like, my family hates me, you know, and he's like, no, your whole family has these positive intentions for you. They really do have these concerns for you. And it wasn't, and Jimmy thought that it was these bad intentions, and really it was these positive intentions. And he was praising them, and he was for their efforts, and oh well, also he was praising, you know, the relationship between this. I kind of just thought of this, the relationship between the siblings. I forgot the Maggie. Yeah, Maggie.
Because they were really close.
Yeah, and you know, they were really close before, and then, or kind of close before, and now she was becoming nagging and like that second mom. And but it was that positive, you know, she was concerned. She really was concerned. And she, you know, he was praising her for her being concerned. And he was also, you know, praising Jimmy at the same time, like, you know, you do want to have your sister back, and you do, like, let's join together, you know, let's come together and let's find those different areas. Anyway, Alyssa, you can tell her about the resources if you want, and finding strength in adversity.
Okay. My mind is going blank.
It's the
Well, something
resources.
that I did notice, at least when I was watching the video, is strength and resource that he pointed out frequently was how each family member was very concerned about each other and how they were feeling. And I think he really hit that home that, like, hey, everyone here is on the same, like, you all love each other, you all care about how each other feel and what you think about each other, and that's a resource you can draw on to help the situation.
Yeah, you're a good mom, you're a good dad, you're a good brother, you're a good sister. We've just gotten off track a little bit because we've been focusing on this one negative aspect, or a perceived negative aspect of Jimmy and his behavior and not being home and not knowing where he's at. And where did we put that the father was raised by parents that weren't really involved?
I think we put that in the pileup of stressors and the clarifying ambiguities. I think we kind of put that in both of them just because, well, I think a pileup of stressor, I think, would be more that the father would be not home a lot.
Yeah.
And the clarifying would be that they finally got out that the father's parents weren't really involved in his life growing up.
Because the father, he wasn't as concerned about Jimmy as the mom was. And then it came back to that, well, you know, this wasn't how I was raised. My parents weren't that way. They weren't really involved in my life. And so he kind of had that disconnect just because that's what he had been raised with.
With hidden resources, I was telling Alyssa, it's also comes like he had the loss of hidden resources because of moving kind of, you don't have that, you don't have those resources around you, and so you find new resources, and sometimes those resources are not as good. So they think that, you know, Jimmy might find those. It was more eloquent when I said it last time.
You're doing good.
I know. It's just anyway. So like when you move as a teenager, it's hard, and so you're trying to find your place, and you're trying to find different things that'll help you, and find new resources that are around you, and
leaving that familiarity behind. You know, when you move to a new place. Yeah.
And so you find new friends that might not be the best, but it's a concern. I don't know. That's not always fine. It's kind of going towards the negative side and the positive side. Okay, finding strengths among the, I think we kind of mentioned that. Did we?
I don't think we have to go over every point, especially if
Yeah.
you guys have already been talking for a long time.
Yeah, we just have to get a decent summary up, and I think it looks good from what I can see.
Okay, so the
I
next
mean-
one really is a big one though, building empathetic connections with and between family members. I think that one is a big one. Just because it was very important between to make those connections between each relationship, between the mother and the father, the sister and the brother, and even the parents and the children.
Mhm.
Like he even had them like, all right, he's like, I know this is silly, but let's do this. Take your sister to go get some soda, or ask your wife out on a date. And every once in a while, my husband will do the same thing. It's like, all right, can you go on a date with me? So it sounds silly, but
Hearing though.
it's endearing, and you build those connections, and it's rebuilding those connections to make a better cohesive family. Anybody else?
I mean, the bottom line.
I think also,
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're on.
Just one thing I noticed too is that he had like people rearrange their seating, right? And I think that was a way to help different people connect and feel like for a while Jimmy was off by himself and everyone was on the couch, and then they kind of like he reorganizes them so it's not like the 3 against the 1,
Yeah, and then Carly,
That helps them.
yeah, Carly brought up too that, well, maybe when they went in the room, that was his choice to sit away from them. Because I was bringing up the point that, it looked like they were ganging up on him. And then Carly brought up, well, maybe he was feeling disconnected and he chose to sit over there. He didn't want to sit, near his family. Did I say that right?
Be that two-way street, They're just butting heads.
Eternally.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes in with the building empathetic connections that goes on with the adopting a positive future oriented like focus, like that future focus. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Looking towards that future. All right, what can we do, and what can we do just this week? He gave him like a week span. Like, all right. Yeah, what can we do in this 1 week? Let's go do it. Let's go to the skate park this week together, or let's go on a date this week, and let's talk next week, and let's review, and let's make sure that we're keeping up and we're meeting those goals. Okay.
And I think he did a really good job just instilling, like jumping a few down, instilling the hope and the optimism. And I think
he did. Yeah.
I
He did that into the entire thing.
Yeah.
He was a very bubbly guy, which is very funny.
I think he's on the staff there at BYU Idaho. I forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
His name's Michael. That's what they said in the video.
I can't remember his last name though.
Me either.
'Cause I've seen some other videos with him in it.
And then that kind of goes with the collaborating and becoming a team. 'Cause family is really a team, and they need to collaborate together. It's like, all right, let's come together. Let's mesh together back again. How can we make this work?
Yeah.
And that kind of goes with the focusing on optimism, the collaboration and teamwork. That kind of like, all right, in the future, how are we going to collaborate as one and as a team in the future?
I think too, something that he kept saying, like some things I noticed that he did is as part of collaborating, he brought up his own experiences, like, oh, like with my adult children, I know blah, 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 this and this. and kind of just like being part of the collaboration instead of like, okay, this is what you guys need to do. But he'd say like, you guys are the expert on your family, so like you guys are going to be the ones that are going to be able to solve your problem. So I feel like that kind of helped that whole atmosphere.
We're just like, my family even fights. I'm like, we all fight. Yeah, we all fight. It's normal. Alex. Sorry.
Child or husband?
Husband. Coming home. And also like the I don't know, they didn't really have like too much of a reaction, but they seemed like they were talking a lot about, I know this is simulation, but they were talking a lot about like they were very angry at home and yelling at home and making those reactions and how they can, you know, like make them be proactive and, you know, that from reaction to proaction, like how can they make them come together, you know, make it proactive instead of butting heads at all times.
It was a very contentious home atmosphere.
Yes.
With the yelling.
Yes. And I think that's where a lot of it, you know, she said that that was the only thing that she knew that she could do. That was her last resort. She's like, that's all I can do with him now is yell at him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, and yes, he's like, yes, all families fight, but how can we? He even said, like, I helped all these different families get over their contentions. So let's make this action plan together.
And that gave him hope because he talked about the other families that he had helped. You know, I've helped other families, and so I'm going to help you. You guys are going to get through this, and I'm going to help you do it, and we're going to restore balance in your life. So,
yeah, which kind of goes along. So I'm on page, what is it, 163. It's the prepare, the enrich assessment tools kind of thing. Never mind. I'm losing my thought right now.
Well, should we just go over the summary and?
Yeah, I'm tired.
yeah.
It's 10 o'clock.
I think it should be good, but if you guys say anything you want to add or take away, whatever,
Okay.
feel free. And then I can put it into a Word document and submit it for us. What were all the names?
Do you want to submit it?
I can do it.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
That would be wonderful. And then make sure you have the 2 URLs, both of them.
Yeah, I'll do that. But I have to wait till this is done recording.
Oh, yeah. And then
So
is your last name Hedquist?
it's
Carly?
Hall.
Okay.
On school records, it's Hall.
And
I haven't changed the
Elisa
Robert.
Roberts.
Yeah.
Roberts.
Yeah.
Going to
okay.
Mexico.
Yeah. Leave my worries behind.
McKenna Peffley.
Yes.
And those Caroline.
She was only here for like 10 minutes.
She kept coming in and
Yeah.
out. I never even heard her talk, poor thing. She's the one that lives out in the boondocks.
Yeah.
Caroline. What's her last name?
Find it.
Like Roylands. Roylands?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Waylands.
Okay. And then just go through the each of us will just go through the summary, make sure it sounds nice and eloquent. Pretty much, I think this is fine.
Yeah,
I think we did a great job,
I think we
despite all the technical.
did a good save. Good save.
Thumbs up, guys.
Appreciate you hopping back in there, Cheyenne.
Yeah,
You saved
sorry.
No, it
You
happens.
saved us with the summary. Thank you.
Whose job was the summary? I don't even remember. 'Cause I know
Caroline.
it wasn't mine.
I think Carol
Oh, well,
gonna. Well, she was gonna do the write up while we were talking. So
Yeah. I chose to turn it in or be in charge because I'm horrible at summaries. I'm not very eloquent.
that's
Anyway,
okay.
have a good night, guys.
all right.
Good night.
Thank you
I'm
so
going to
much.
bed. Bye, guys.